Hey guys, and welcome back to Buzzer to Buzzer.
So the Super Wildcard Weekend has officially elapsed, and if you've not already checked out our predictions and analysis video from the last week, they'll be in the top right hand as a card. But the NFL season is progressing, and we have the NFL Divisional Round Weekend coming up. We got 4 highly anticipated games, and per the usual, we're going to be going over our picks and doing some analysis. So without any further ado, let's get to it. All right, guys, so the first matchup which we're going to be predicting for this divisional round weekend is going to be the one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Now, guys, we as NFL fans have been lucky to see this matchup twice this year because of Tom Brady's move, but we all know this matchup is between the two quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Drew Brees. So I'm going to get started off by thinking about what are our thoughts for this upcoming game.
I think Tampa Bay is going to take this game narrowly. Obviously Saints are a force to be reckoned with, but we saw last week that their offense can be stopped. I mean, they only scored 21 points, and that was against a Bears team that had no business being in the playoffs. I think Tom Brady and the offense is clicking on all cylinders right now, and if they can just keep that up, I think they can win this game.
You know, Antonio Brown has finally become what they wanted him to be. He's become the touchdown machine he was 2 years ago. It took him a while to get started, but that happens with a season like this. It takes a while to get it adjusted. He's playing amazing, and if Chris Godwin stops dropping all those passes, maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have an easy ride into the championship game.
Saints and Buccaneers have played each other twice during the regular season, and we all saw how that went. The Saints completely destroyed the Buccaneers. It wasn't even close both times, not even just the first time. And I know the Saints have a kind of a bad streak in the playoffs, a bit of a curse. Every time they go in the playoffs, they choke. But I feel like this year they're probably going to do better. I don't think they're going to lose against the Buccaneers. Yeah, the Buccaneers have been really good the last couple of games. Tom Brady's been on fire. Same thing with AB, like Carson already mentioned. But I'm going to have to go with the Saints still because Alvin Kamara, Andrew Brees, and Michael Thomas, I think will get it done.
If there's one thing which I've learned in watching football in my life is don't question Tom Brady when the time's right. And that time is in the playoffs. Tom Brady is a force not to be the record in. Like you guys said, he's just something else. When it comes to playoffs, like Harsha, you're talking about, Antonio Brown's balling out as well. I see the Buccaneers, the way I'm envisioning it, it's going to be a close game till the fourth quarter. It'd be a Cinderella story if we see Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski score a touchdown at the end, and that wins the game. But I'm honestly expecting this game to potentially even go to overtime. It's going to be one close game, but Tom Brady's going to edge out. All right, guys, now moving on toward the second game, which we're predicting for this divisional round weekend, that being between the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, guys, the Chiefs had a first-round bye and will be playing for the first time in 2 weeks, and the Browns are coming off of an impressive, stellar victory against that Pittsburgh Steelers team last week. This is for sure going to be a good matchup. Our thoughts?
As much as the Browns are on a hot streak right now, they're doing amazing. And I'm not saying that they can't win. There's a great shot that the Browns could beat the Chiefs. They're a great team right now. Everything's clicking for them. But even after like the bye week and 2 weeks of not playing, I still think Patrick Mahomes is going to finish the job and beat the Browns. That team just looks too good to lose. I don't care how long of a break they take. When they're like clicking when everything is going for them, they're unstoppable. And I don't think a single team in the league can beat them. So as long as they play like how they usually do, I think they should beat the Browns, but it's going to be a very close matchup.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the B on this one. I remember last year in the divisional round, you remember Chiefs Texans. Patrick Mahomes and that offense came out to a slow start, but when things got rolling, they absolutely smoked the Texans. I think that's what's going to happen here. I think they're going to be rusty a little bit after 3 weeks of rest, but Patrick Mahomes and the offense is too good, and I don't think the Browns defense has a shot at stopping them.
If this was a game maybe middle of the season, week 13 or week 7, I would easily pick the Chiefs. But the problem here is Patrick Mahomes hasn't played in 3 weeks. He hasn't played since week 16 of the playoffs. And we saw what happened when he did that last year. They were down 24-0 to the Texans. And now comparing this Texans team from last year to the Browns teams we had this year, not only is the Browns offense probably better, their defense is significantly better. And so they won't allow the Chiefs to run up and score as many points as they did in the second half of the game. Sure, we saw that they went up early against the Steelers, and they held their own enough to edge it out. And I think the same thing is going to happen this week against the Chiefs.
Yeah, this is for sure. I think one of the toughest games for this week. And although it's the difference in seeding is the most, it's the storyline. You got the Browns in one hand for the first time in like 25 years making the playoffs, getting this far to the divisional round. It's for sure they got that momentum, I feel like. But in the playoffs, for the past couple of years, we've seen historical precedent. You can't pick against Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, they're going to get that connection going. Travis Kelce, they're just too much of an offensive juggernaut. But I do feel like the Browns absolutely have a chance. And just like the other game, I feel like this is going to be going down to the wire as well. All right, guys, now moving on towards the third game, which we're predicting for this week, that being between the Baltimore Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson, against the Buffalo Bills, led by Josh Allen. Now, guys, we've seen that both these quarterbacks perfecting the game over the season. They both had some slumps, but they've absolutely bounced back, and that's why they're in this divisional round matchup. Our thoughts on this game?
I'm going to take the Bills to win this game, honestly, because of the weather. It's expected to snow really heavily in Buffalo this weekend, and Lamar Jackson has came out and said, he's never played in snow before. We all know Lamar Jackson isn't the best thrower of the football, and obviously Josh Allen is. I think that Bills' offense is not going to get stopped by the weather, but I do think the Ravens' offense will be limited. And I think for that reason, I'm going to take the Bills.
When you're playing in the snow, your offense has to become multidimensional.
Nets will acquire James Harden. Oh,
we got to do a quick take on this.
Hey, right now, let's do it.
Well, hold on. What's the deal?
Hold. Where?
I just got it too.
Hold on.
I just got it. They didn't have to keep Kyrie.
With 4 first-round picks.
That's nothing.
Oh my gosh.
And 4 draft swaps.
They gave up everything.
And Karis LeVert and Jared Allen. Oh, and there could be another team involved too.
Shams. Who did it first, Shams or Woj?
Shams. No, Woj.
No, Woj.
To win the snow, your team has to be multidimensional, And I think the Ravens, Lamar Jackson's throwing ability has been very limited. It can be really good at times, and it can be really bad. And then the snow, that's not helping it out. And so as we see here, the Bills, this is the weather they play in, this is the weather they win, and this is the weather they practice in. And so for the Bills, they just have to come out and play their game, and it's going to be very difficult for the Ravens to keep pace.
Regardless of all the weather and it's snowing and Lamar Jackson not being used to playing in the snow, I'm going to have to stick with the Ravens on this one. Obviously, the Bills right now are a high-powered offense with Josh Allen leading them. Stephon Diggs, that's a great connection, a great duo right there. But I feel like as we saw last week when the Bills played the Colts, against great defenses, I mean, I know the Bills got the win, but it was a super close game. Some people were even saying that the Colts got cheated out of a win. It doesn't matter now, I guess. But Ravens have a comparable defense to the Colts. They're both amazing. And I feel like the Ravens defense might stop Josh Allen or do a pretty decent job. And then the Bills defense obviously has been struggling a bit last couple of weeks. So I think that Lamar Jackson is going to do great even in the snow and take the win.
Well, something that if it does happen to snow, which is, I guess it most likely looks like it will, the run game is something which both teams will be utilizing more. And if that's the case, the Ravens, J.K. Dobbins, the running back for the Ravens, he's been lighting it up for the past couple of games with the Ravens. I feel like he's going to come to shine, come to play it all out. And if it does start to snow like it's snowing here in Chicago right now, it's going to be quite the game to see, a different type of game for a divisional round. But I still fully expect the Ravens to pull through. All right, guys, and the last game which we're predicting for this divisional round weekend is the one between the team that beat the Seattle Seahawks last week. Oh, yeah, the Los Angeles Rams against the Green Bay Packers. Guys, it's going to be a Jared Goff versus Aaron Rodgers type matchup. Our thoughts on this upcoming game?
I think the Rams are going to win this game. I want to look at the 2 losses the Packers have had this year that weren't as a result of Aaron Rodgers having a bad game. We obviously know the Buccaneers game. He had a really bad game, and that cost them the loss there. Let's look at these other 2 tight games they had. One against the Vikings and the against the Colts. And in both of those games, those teams have a high rushing offense. You know who else has a high rushing offense? The Rams. And it's complemented by good quarterback play. And so this team is really directly attacking the horrible rushing defense that the Packers have. And so for a team to be successful against the Packers, you have to run the ball well, and the Rams can do that, so I think they'll beat them.
Yeah, to add on to that, obviously it's hard to doubt Aaron Rodgers and go against him when he's in the playoffs and in general. But the Rams defense, I mean, they're the best defense in the league right now. And plus, there's recent news that Aaron Donald's definitely going to start for the game. So when you have a defense like that, all-pro O-line David Bakhtiari is injured, I don't think that anyone can stop Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd. Plus, Jalen Ramsey's going to be on Devontae Adams, so I don't know how open he's going to be like he always is. It's going to be a very close game, but I think the Rams are going to edge the Packers out on this one.
You guys are nuts for picking the Rams over Aaron Rodgers, the MVP this year. I think it is going to be easily taken by the Packers. It should be a blowout win. I know that the Rams defense is good, but to me, I think it comes down to Jared Goff. Can he score enough points to put the Rams over the top? And I don't think that's going to be true. We saw him play against Seattle's average defense, and he didn't look so good. I don't know how he's going to play in the cold weather up there in Lambeau, and I really think he's going to struggle. So I'm going to take the Packers in that one.
There's a certain thing associated, a certain stigma associated with stadiums. In the NBA, take the Pistons, bad boy Piston Stadium from back then, or now taking a look at the Lambeau Field for the Packers. Having that home court advantage, I feel like for the Packers just speaks volumes. And at Lambeau Field, Aaron Rodgers, we all know. It pains me to say this as a Bears fan, but Aaron Rodgers is going to torch up the Rams. It's not even going to be a close game. In the first half, I think we're going to know the outcome of the game. It's going to be done deal, wrapped. Although Jalen Ramsey is going to be on Devontae Adams, I feel like he's about to find his own route, and the Packers will pull through. All right, guys, well, those are our picks for this upcoming divisional round weekend. As always, guys, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. We are so close to hitting 600 subscribers. Let's get there before the end of January. Guys, comment down below your takeaways, your picks for this upcoming week as well. And remember, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time, we'll be doing our first ever live stream. Be sure to tune in for that. I'll let you guys on the next one. See you guys.